for Thursday, August 17th, 2017.
Gary Bowden.
Here.
Frank Rory.
Here.
Marshall Goff. Ryan Kennedy.
Here.
Chad Sigmund.
Here.
Vice Mayor Malvada.
Here.
Mayor Gordon.
Here.
This evening we have our prayer and pledge by Councilmember Ferrari.
Let's bow our heads and receive the Lord's Prayer. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This evening we have a special presentation by our mayor to WBOI.
Hi, Gretchen. Hi. We'll just go right out here. A proclamation. Whereas WBOY TV is the NBC-affiliated television station for North Central West Virginia that is licensed in Clarksburg, West Virginia, and broadcasts a high-definition digital signal on VHF Channel 12. And whereas the station has studios in downtown Clarksburg and operates a bureau in Morgantown, West Virginia. And whereas the station was launched on November 17, 1957, and was originally intended to be the ABC affiliate for all of North Central West Virginia. And whereas WBOY joined NBC and remains with the network to this day. And whereas WBOY launched a new second digital subchannel by bringing in ABC programming in 2008. And whereas WBOY has abilities to broadcast live anywhere with its inventory of 2 live trucks and 3 live view backpacks. And whereas WBOY has been a community partner in North Central West Virginia for 60 years by providing news, sports, weather, and community awareness events. Now therefore I, Catherine A. Goings, Mayor of the City of Clarksburg, do hereby proclaim August 17th as WBOY TV 60th Anniversary Day in the City of Clarksburg and bestow best wishes upon WBOY for continued success and express our appreciation for your hometown news and event coverage. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and have caused the official seal of the City of Clarksburg to be affixed this 17th day of August, signed by myself and attested by our city clerk, Annette Wright. Congratulations. Or two?
There's no
I'll put you on the
teleprompter. I
spot.
don't know what to do. No, I'm kidding. I am coming up on my 4th anniversary here with WBOI. Alan has worked at the station as one of our photographers for even longer, and we've covered a lot of stories. And just want to thank you all from a personal standpoint. I really appreciate the access that you've given WBOI and myself on the ongoing project with the Robinson Grand. We really appreciate it. It's been a great story, and it's going to be even a greater story as we continue that coverage over the course of the next year and into the future. And I think my greatest memory of you, Mayor, is when you came up to me last Halloween dressed as a scary ghost, and you scared the bejesus out of me. And that was a lot of fun. But that just kind of shows, I think, that government doesn't always have to be serious and scary, but it can be fun, and it shows what a community player and community supporter you are, and the rest of you all as well. And the rest of you too, and just how well we all work together and get along. I know that the media gets a bad rap at times, and we are constantly calling and knocking on your door, but government and the press needs to work together, I believe, now more so than ever, especially with recent events in going on in this country. So the more we can work together and get the word out, and we can be community partners, I think really helps Clarksburg, North Central West Virginia as a whole. So thank you for being with us from day one, and we appreciate that and all that we will continue to do together. So thank you very much. Are we taking a picture? I don't know. I've never been to one of these things. I don't know how it works. So Thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Give you a hug.
Approval of the minutes of the regular session of July 20, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
If there are no objections, the motion carries.
Petitions, communications, and public hearings. Sylvia Nolan of Los Angeles, California, wishes to address council to commend the council.
Hi, my name is Sylvia Nolan, and I just happened to be in town on the day of the council, and I wanted to come. I'm sure many of you hear all the complaints, and I moved away at 18. I was born and raised here, but I moved away, and my mom and my sister still live here, and I happened to be back in town, and I was driving through town, and I had my daughter with me, and it's just beautiful what has happened. There's a lot of new growth. I can see a lot of new buildings here. The little pots around town, it makes it very quaint. I love Jackson Square. That wasn't here when I was growing up. And I just wanted to take the time to say thank you, because a lot of towns, little towns, just go away. And the other thing that's really touching is my dad's no longer with us, but he used to take me to Robinson Grand, and it was a special time for us. And I just want to say thank you to all of you to restore that, because I hope other kids get a chance to go with their parents and enjoy it, because there's a building that would have been taken away if it wouldn't have been restored. So just wanted to take the time to say thank you. Okay.
Thank you. We appreciate it, Sylvia.
City managers report and update.
Just under general updates, the Chestnut Street project, the contractor is continuing to work towards completing the project. As of today, the grading was being completed, and 1,000 feet of the curb and gutter was being poured. 2017 paving program, the annual paving program was completed as of yesterday. This year was year one of the 17-year paving program. The total project cost was $637,426, which included 30,962 square feet of milling and 7,751 tons of asphalt. So to break it out, the levy fund paid for $495,000 and the TIF fund paid for $142,400. The audit committee, we did have the opportunity to interview 2 of the firms that submitted proposals. The committee does recommend that we issue the contract to Teacher and Bartlett for the 2 years in the amount of $49,000. Sidewalk program, a total of 18 sidewalks were approved for the budget amount of $30,000. To date, $26,700 has been expended, and the letters were sent out to the 5 property owners who did not complete those projects as of yet. They were given an extension till Monday, September 11th to complete those. Now, the winter salt, we did receive the contractual agreement to purchase salt at $74.67 per ton with a minimum of 1,000 tons. We have not yet signed that contract. We're still reviewing it and also checking the total supply, and we have our reserves to see if we want to move forward with that contract or not. But it's never too early to begin preparing for the winter season. Robinson Grand Performing Arts Center. I also want to take this opportunity right now to formally introduce Ryan Tolley, who is our new executive director for the Robinson Grand. Some of you had the opportunity to meet him as you're coming through the offices, but also want to take the opportunity to have him come to council so you can be formally introduced to him as well. So feel free to stop in and say hello. Also under the Robinson Grand, the USDA loan, we did receive the national office concurrence for the financing for the Robinson Grand. This is the takeout for the bond anticipation notes with MVB Bank. So we did go ahead and execute that agreement. It does not obligate the city to the funding, but it does obligate the USDA to fund the city for the bands for the takeout. But the final loan amount will be adjusted upon the completion of the project, as well as when the tax credits come in for the equity. At that point in time, we'll move forward with the USDA. Project tour, we will provide a tour for council for the Robinson Grand this coming Tuesday, August 22nd at 11 a.m. Again, just please note, if you are coming, Kathy, closed-toe shoes, and then all of council will also have to have hard hats and proper safety glasses, which will be provided to you there. But no sandals, no flip-flops, or anything such as that within that area. Construction update, the concession stand areas as well as the restrooms are approximately 90% framed in. The west addition, the erection of the steel is approximately 75% completed. And the east addition, the structural brick will be delivered this coming Monday, August 21st. And they should begin installing that brick immediately of that week. And then also the masonry work, the east wall has been 25% cleaned and repointed. And the cleaning and repointing on the Pike Street facade of the restroom concession stand building is approximately 15% completed. So they continue to move forward at a great pace on the exterior as well as the interior. Sanitary Board, the board did approve at its August 8th meeting to increase the septage haulers and gate fee entry at the wastewater treatment plant. The gate fee will increase from $15 to $20 for those contractors, and the cost per 1,000 gallons disposed would increase to $25 up to $30 per 1,000. This will also come to council in the form of an amendment to the sewer ordinance, which we anticipate to have at the next meeting. It'll take two readings to pass for that. Police and fire, the sign-on incentive, the chief and I have included for approval that on council's agenda for consideration for the $5,000 sign-on bonus for certified officers. Then we will also move forward to the Civil Service Commission to begin that testing process so we can begin a new eligibility list. The Governor's Highway Safety Program, we're also currently advertising for a coordinator position, and all resumes and letter of interest will be due by 4 p.m. on Monday, September 11th. And then the chief and I, and deputy chief, as well as a representative from the Governor's Highway Safety and the finance director will begin interviewing those individuals so we can get something in place as soon as possible. And then with the fire department, we have had a recent retirement. We're currently interviewing the next 3 on the eligibility list that was sent over from the Fire Civil Service Commission, and we do expect that to be filled by mid-September. And just for some of the events coming up, the Moore Project, the Lions Club block party will be Friday, tomorrow, August 18th, beginning at 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then the Italian Heritage Festival's Pasta Cook-Off will be Saturday, August 26th, with tasting to begin at 12 noon, and that's at Jackson Square. And then the 39th annual Italian Heritage Festival, Friday, September 1st through Sunday, September 3rd in downtown. And then the Black Heritage Festival begins Friday, September 8th through Sunday, September 10th. So we have some busy weekends coming up. Our Public Works Department's been prepared, as well as the Law Enforcement and Fire Department. Completes the manager's report.
Thank you.
Unfinished business. Consideration of second and final reading and public hearing of an ordinance authorizing the manager of the city of Clarksburg to execute an agreement with the Clarksburg Urban Renewal Authority. Notices regarding the public hearing appeared in the Expedited Telegram on August 2 and August 9th.
We will now open this up for public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak for or against may do so at this time. And we will now close the public hearing.
So moved.
Madam Mayor, I move that we approve this ordinance on second and final reading as titled.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
New business. Consideration to approve sign-on incentive for certified law enforcement officers.
So moved. Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration to authorize the mayor to execute a First Amendment to Governor's Community Participation Grant Program contract for improvements to the Clarksburg City Park baseball field.
So moved. Second.
Discussion.
Discussion.
Can we get a little update on, so what's going on, Martin? Where are we with this? I see some dirt now.
Just now? You mean moved, or you see?
Yeah, there's some dirt there, like they're gonna do something.
Yeah, the steel has been purchased, and I think it's been
Okay.
delivered. So yeah, they should start erecting that shortly. But
Is it still being done by volunteers?
it's a mix. So they have a contractor as well as going to come in and erect the steel. I believe gratis. So yeah, it's a mixture. But yeah, so the hard costs they have in the supplies, and then they do have a group of volunteers and business owners that are putting forth their efforts.
Curious if we're actually gonna see this thing one day.
Yeah, I think so.
You've been granting them money for a long time. Thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of approval of the recommendation of Audit Procurement Committee and appointment of the firm of Tetrick and Bartlett PLLC to perform annual audit of the financial books and records for fiscal years 2016-17 and 17-18, and authorize the city manager to sign a contract therefore at a cost of $49,000 for said 2-year contract.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of appointment to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Madam Mayor, I move for the reappointment of Donald Hall to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of appointments to the Clarksburg Development Authority.
Madam Mayor, I move that we reappoint Stephen McCoy, Catherine Goings, Tony Blidgett, and Anthony Seibert.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Council comments.
I'll go ahead and start out real quick. First of all, as you know, Marshall Goff had surgery, so we want to wish him a speedy recovery, so hopefully he'll be back here soon. Did he give you any indication how long he'll be out? Yeah, okay. And again, you mentioned it in your manager's report, but congratulations on the paving around the city. I mean, they've done an awesome job, and everybody is ecstatic that their streets have been paved. And I'd like to take a minute to give a special shout out to Sylvia and Alana for taking time out of their schedule. I know you're on limited time here to see your family, but you made an effort and thought it was important enough to come to City Council to express your gratitude for what the city's done, so thank you for that. Okay, Frank, do you have any comments?
Yes, I have a few things. First of all, I want to commend our city manager and our finance director, and also the Urban Renewal Authority for securing a demolition loan. We all know that one of the top priorities is demolishing structures, and this $400,000 will get a good step into demolishing some of these houses. Hopefully this fall we'll see some of them come out. The other thing I want to do is I want to commend the police chief and his staff for the National Night Out event. I, as long as several members of this council, participated in that event with assisting, and Chief Hilliard and his assistant deputy chief. They did a wonderful job. They had a lot of support from the office staff and some of their officers, and the event went very smoothly, and I think they're to be commended on that. And the only other thing I have is I want to reiterate what you said, Mayor, about the paving. I've had numerous people saying how many streets have been, how well the paving has been, and how many streets have been paved in the city that they use on a regular basis. And I think that's a pretty big investment into our paving, $600,000, and I think that's why we have our levy and why we have our TIF program. And I think that's a great project, and I'm just happy that we were able to complete that much of the paving program. That's all I have.
First of all, I wanted to echo Councilman Ferrari's comments about National Night Out. It was a great event. I was glad to be a part of it as well. I just want to take a moment to just address something very serious. We all have been watching the tragic events in Charlottesville, and I just wanted to say that violence must be condemned, and we may disagree, but we all need to do so peacefully and respect the rights of others. And I hope that's something we can all unite on. Thank you.
Gary? Yeah.
Since we got a nice compliment from our guests about downtown, can I ask how we've done with the facade improvement program this year?
I can get a report, but I think this year we probably, if my memory serves me correct, the Urban Renewal Authority, I think we only had a couple this year so far to date. But the majority of people have already taken advantage of it in the last 15 years. So probably need time to probably revamp it with the Urban Renewal Authority, maybe change it up, do something a little bit different. But
Well, and Clarksburg Uptown's contributed some funding towards some improvements, and
Yeah, Clarksburg Uptown, that's a good point. Clarksburg Uptown has also implemented a facade program as well.
Oh,
So
great.
they do, they'll piggyback or contribute to it, but it's a separate application process. So that's out there as well for some of the property owners. And I think right now we have one or two considering going through Clarksburg Uptown that already done it through the URA, or maybe using both funds together to try to make theirs go a little further.
Great, thank you. That's all I have.
I just have a few things on here. Again, I want to thank the ladies coming all the way from, spending their time, their vacation here in the council chambers. It's really great to have you here. So thank you, and all the compliments that have been going on in the city since you've been away. Second thing, I would like to see, we've talked about it in the past, but maybe getting a special meeting here soon since Frank and I know Marshall's not feeling well right now, but maybe considering that here in the near future. And there's a couple topics that maybe I'd like to see on the agenda, maybe what we talked about in the past, is with direct election of the mayor and different things like.
You're talking about the work session?
The work session,
Mhm.
yeah, for the work session.
Yeah, we're working on getting a date put
Oh,
together
cool,
for that.
okay. So that was one I had, and I want to again commend the city manager and everyone working in the city for, this is the largest paving initiative ever, right here in the city of Clarksburg, for the fiscal year, in fiscal. And so that's great. A lot of people are, again, excited and happy about their streets. The third thing is it's a privately funded thing, but we're talking about different facades and different things you're seeing in the area. But we had our first mural, privately funded murals on the Chestnut and Pike Street, and that's something that the community seems like they really like here in Clarksburg. And we're working on our second mural, privately funded, on the Kelly's building, PJ Kelly's on Washington Street. So it's going to be a jazz themed mural. So it will be really go well. Hopefully, be done before the jazz stroll. So it'll go real well with, especially what Kathy's been doing on her store. Got to see that with the different jazz thing. But if you want to, I was going to offer anyone a council. Donations are definitely appreciated. As we have our artist Justin Williams. He's a local native here in Clarksburg artist. So we're trying to get different perspectives of different artists in our area. So the first one was a huge success. We see even a bigger excitement for the second one. So you can see that on like the Real Clarksburg County. Or the Real Clarksburg City Council News has information on that. So thank you very much.
I have a few comments to make. As Councilman Bowden affectionately referred to the Jimmy clock, I'm glad to see the clock that beautified West Pike Street, part of downtown beautification. Street paving, J.F. Allen and the city workers, and it's Chestnut Street to 6th Street, behind Senior Citizen Center. Wow, what a big difference that is now. I want to run something by council. I'm the liaison for the West Virginia Italian Heritage Festival. And as you know, they have two jumbotrons on either side of the stage. Well, for 3 days, at a cost of $160 for all 3 days, you can see your name and picture and lights. And I would suggest that, we're going to have probably 75 to 100,000 people downtown over a 3-day period. I think that we should do a picture of the Robinson Grant Performing Arts Center, and across the bottom put coming spring of 2018. So, Mr. City Manager, I will give you this application. It has to be in by next Friday.
Is that open to all businesses?
It's open to anybody. Open to anybody. And lastly, I'd like to read something. City considers law to deter drug houses. Martinsburg has put this in effect, and Huntington and Nitro councils are currently considering it. The city of Huntington and Nitro is working to set up a drug enforcement effort by introducing an ordinance that will hold property owners accountable for crimes that occur on their premises. According to the ordinance as proposed, properties where 2 or more illegal incidents occur within a 12-month period would be declared a public nuisance, and the city would issue an order for immediate eviction of the tenants involved in illegal activities. The targeted offenses are prostitution, illegal gambling, illegal possession, storage, delivery, or trafficking in controlled substance and other illegal drug activities. After the second crime is committed, the ordinance states that the property owner has 30 days to take action to abate the nuisance. If the property owner fails to comply within the 30-day time period, he or she will be fined $100 and $500 every day the nuisance remains. I think that's something that
If this sounds familiar,
Yeah.
we had this at a work session
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah, well, but now the cities are implementing it.
Well, that's right, yeah, that's right. So what we've done is after that work session last year, we didn't go anywhere with it. So the chief, Mr. Jimmy Cannon Esquire, legal counsel, and Adam Barbario have been meeting, and I've actually been in contact with Mark Baldwin multiple times from Martinsburg, city manager from Martinsburg. So we've taken their ordinance that they've had in place that we mirrored our work session after, and we've also adding additional things to ours to make it a little bit stronger here based upon some of the issues we've been seeing come up over the last several years. So when we do get that meeting with the work session, the mayor and I have been discussing, this would be one of those items on there as well, so we can try to implement it. I think I mentioned that.
Everybody should have a copy of that
Yeah.
ordinance. When we did our work session, we passed it out, so.
Yeah, so
Well, I mean, we haven't heard about it since the last
Well,
work
that's
session.
because we're trying to tweak it because
I
they've
think
had
June.
some problems
Yeah, I
with
think
it.
June I gave an update on my manager's.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
But
definitely-
it's on the work session,
Okay, great.
once we determine the date, so. We have quite a few things that'll be on the work session coming up, so. All
Call
right,
for adjournment?
Second.
meeting adjourned.